with Cowboy head coach Mike Boynton as we talk Cowboy basketball to start things, and just kind of your thoughts on the first two conference games. You faced two really good teams, Texas Tech and West Virginia, and specifically two teams that are really good defensively.
Yeah, two of the elite defensive teams in the country, certainly two of the better teams in our league, no question. They play a different style, each of them, because West Virginia has such depth of physical strength inside with Culver and Oscar specifically, but even their perimeter guys are big physical guys. Tech does it more kind of non-traditionally with multiple guys who can guard a lot of different positions, and so they switch a lot and keep the ball in front of you. But nonetheless, two great challenges. Obviously, we weren't near good enough to win either one of them, but I saw some signs of progress from the Tech game to the West Virginia game that I believe can help us moving forward.
What did you see specifically?
I thought that our competitive just stamina, our defensive will in the quick turnaround on Monday against West Virginia was very evident that our team believes it still can win getting stops. It's very unusual for our team to shoot as poorly as we did, and so assuming that we'll continue to work on our offense and guys won't miss that many shots, we feel like our offense will come along as well.
Yeah, what do you see specifically that could help the offense? And again, you face two really good defensive teams, but what are you thinking offensively that might spark things a bit?
Well, I think we have to have better ball movement and better spacing, which will allow for better shot selection. Lends itself to putting the defense in more tough predicaments that they have to close out or be in rotation more, as opposed to just walking it up and letting the first guy initiate the offense and try to make the play. We got to get more ball reversal, play inside out a little bit, and that doesn't necessarily mean you post up a lot, because we don't necessarily have a ton of great guys with their backs to the basket, but you can certainly drive into the paint and play from inside out on drive and kick options.
Of your young players who are coming off the bench, who has impressed you the most recently?
I think Avery Anderson's really turning a corner. He hasn't turned it all the way, but he's starting to see the light around the corner, playing with a lot of consistency on the defensive end. He still makes some mistakes offensively because sometimes the game is still a little fast for him. With most freshmen, that takes a while for things to slow down. But I've been really, really impressed with his competitiveness on the defensive end and his willingness to try to make plays for other people offensively.
As we start to turn our focus toward this weekend in TCU, Thomas DeZagua did not play, wasn't even at the game Monday because he had the flu. What can you share about his status?
Well, he actually was a little sick at Tech. We tried to get him to fight through it. Obviously, he wasn't nearly as effective, and so we thought it'd be best to just try to get him healthy as soon as possible. And shutting him down on Monday gave us another day because we played early in the week to rest him. We think he'll be available for TCU, but we'll take it day by day as we go through practice.
TCU is your next opponent, and they're off to a 2-0 start with a lot of new players, but some old ones returning as well. What's got your attention?
Well, they're defending at a really high level, just like most teams in our league are. They get a lot of steals, but the thing that jumps out off their stat sheet is they lead our league in three-point shooting. They space the floor really well, and they're playing with a lot of confidence because of their early success. But they're certainly led by Desmond Bain on the perimeter and Kevin Samuel, specifically as it relates to defensive presence on the inside.
It's the Cowboys and TCU in Fort Worth on Saturday. Coming up, Jessica Morey with a story on Cowboy forward Hidde Roessink. Stay with us.
Now that's crisp.
Crisp taste, brewed with no corn syrup. Bud Light.
Living with joint pain. Take the first step at mercy.net/cowboysortho.
Josiah, how you doing? Dominique, Nadia.
What if I go into labor in your car?
Why do I keep self-sabotaging myself?
Parts of science can be kind of confusing.
Really?
Thank you, honey.
So Joe's on the beatbox.
You haven't asked for my advice, but I'll just offer it.
You were so great. 4 stars, okay?
Roundup, I'm Jessica Maury. There are plenty of new faces on the Oklahoma State men's basketball roster this season, and one of them is from more than 4,000 miles away. Here's a look at Hidde Roessink's journey to Stillwater.
I just knew immediately, actually, that I wanted to go here. It just felt right, like this was the place.
Oklahoma State freshman forward Hidde Roessink made the biggest decision of his life this past summer. He left his home country of the Netherlands in hopes of turning a dream into a reality.
I always had confidence in that he could become better, and as long as basketball is having fun for you. And most of the time when you're in puberty, 15, 16 years old, I think a lot of children change and get other hobbies, but he kept focused. And I think that moment I thought, oh, he could really do it, and that it was a realistic dream.
And the Cowboy basketball staff saw that same potential.
Well, I used to play for the Dutch windmills back home in the Netherlands. And my coach knew Coach Cooper over here. And I really wanted to go play college basketball, so they kind of got in touch, and he watched my highlight tape and he was pretty interested, so they invited me for a visit in May.
I had an opportunity to watch him play and was blown away by just his level of understanding. He picked up things quickly. He showed a vast array of offensive skills, moves, and the ability to shoot the basketball.
It didn't take long for Hidde to realize that Oklahoma State was the place for him.
So much bigger over here, and I really like that, especially the arena. It's just, everything is just ×2, it seems like, so that's been very different, but I really like that. Everybody's just really close, the whole coaching staff, the whole team, it just feels like a second family.
Once Hidde got on campus, it was easy to see that despite being the only international player on the team, he fits right in.
Well, first, he has a high care factor. That's probably the most important thing. He really cares about his teammates. He really cares about our program. He takes pride in doing things the right way and working hard and being respectful and being coachable. And I think his teammates have really enjoyed having him around because of those things. And then you add his basketball ability, and it just takes it to a whole nother level because he's truly one of the most versatile players on our team.
Not only is Hidde highly skilled physically, he's also extremely intelligent. Coach Boynton believes he may be one of the smartest players he's ever coached.
Yeah, he certainly makes my job easier, especially when you have as many freshmen as we have. You know, to have a guy like him who doesn't need to have things repeated, although we understand that's part of the deal sometimes, but he picks up on things pretty quickly. He has a great knack of understanding how to execute things after just one moment, and it's something that will pay dividends not only for himself and our program, but it'll be something that his teammates can also learn from.
Kind of makes me feel proud. Like, I know I'm kind of smart, and I try to use it as an advantage on the court. But when coach says it, it actually feels good. Feels good to hear that.
Now, basketball isn't Hidde's only dream. He plans on becoming a doctor after his basketball career is over. As Hidde continues to follow his dreams, his family knows they're leaving him in good hands at Oklahoma State.
Fantastic to see. The first day I came here, and he took me to this place, the arena and all the facilities around, and the people, and well, really amazing how professional and big and it all is, and the way he's walking around here, he's feeling happy, so it was really nice to see him in that role and so happy. I leave him here with a very good feeling.
Hidde Roessink and the Oklahoma State Cowboys traveled to Fort Worth on Saturday to take on TCU.
Guys,
Hey, what time's your flight?
I've got an hour until I'm supposed to board.
All right, we have things to do. Is there any cancellations? I thought she was your best friend.
Yeah, she was.
So they attached a dog's head on the man's body.
Where's your backpack? Mom. You know what? I think I'm going to sew your backpack to your back. What do you think?
Whoa, that's crisp.
Crisp taste, brewed with no corn syrup. Bud Light.
Welcome back to the OSU Roundup. Talking to Coach Jim Littell, head coach for the Oklahoma State Cowgirl women's basketball team. And Coach, we started conference season this week, and what a week. Obviously, it was a heck of a roller coaster. But it started with Kansas, an undefeated team coming into Gallagher Arena on a really good roll. They got off to a good start, but after that, Oklahoma State really went out and took it to them.
Well, we did. I thought our kids played extremely hard on the defensive end of the floor, and to hold them under 50 points, anytime you do that in a Big 12 game, you've been very successful. Natasha Mack had a big night. Vivian Gray had a big night. We had a lot of other people that stepped up and guarded very well. Lauren Fields did a great job on Franklin in the second half. So there were a lot of positives to take out of the game.
67-49 win, Coach. Natasha Mack 1 block shy of a triple-double, which would have been only the second time that had happened in Cowgirl history. But even so, with 25 points, 20 rebounds, and 9 block shots, she's the first player in NCAA history since 2000 to do that. When you start talking about something that hasn't been done in 20 years, it's pretty amazing.
It's pretty remarkable, those numbers, to be close to a triple-double and get your numbers in the block category. That's very, very difficult to do. And she's an outstanding player, a great teammate, and Big 12 Player of the Week and National Player of the Week, and very deserving.
Absolutely, completely deserve that. And not to be forgotten, obviously, is Vivian Gray. 27 points, 7 assists, 7 rebounds. And, Coach, those two combined outscored Kansas. Now, that's not typical and normal, but it is pretty remarkable.
It is remarkable, and Viv had a great ball game and shot the ball extremely well, was very efficient, took great shots, and found Mac when she was covered. So I thought she played really well and got a great performance out of both those young ladies.
Game 2, Bedlam, round 1, and the Cowgirls came out in this one. Coach, you guys really came out swinging in this one. You knew at 7-6, Oklahoma was a really good 7-6. The 6 came against some really good opponents. No one took this team lightly going in.
No, we didn't. It's Bedlam, and it's a game of high importance. And, we knew that they were going to play tough, and you could throw the records out when these two teams meet, and it was a hard-fought game.
Coach, you in transition, you were really concerned because most of their points come in transition, yet until late in this game, you did a fantastic job of slowing down transition. You send extra kids back. It worked fantastically. In fact, you end up in transition with 29 points. They had 23. So at least through the first 37 minutes or so of this game, that was very effective.
It was. We forced 19 turnovers in the first half, and really did not capitalize on that like we needed to. When you force 19 turnovers, you should go to half with a lead more than 5. And, we've got to convert those turnovers into points.
46 points in the paint as opposed to 26. You guys really were playing well inside out.
That's a big part of our game, using Mac inside, using our other kids inside, and trying to score some easy opportunities. And we got the ball there, not as much as we would have liked to have, but we did have adequate number of points in the paint.
And, Coach, you guys had 8 points off the bench, so if you collect that as a group of near double digits, Clee gave you some double-digit points. Obviously, Natasha and Vivian did as well, not as efficiently as they have, but the scoring was there. Unfortunately, in this one, it was defense late that got you.
No, we missed some assignments in the half court. Robertson kid's a tough guard, and she hit big shot after big shot. Lanusa hit shots. Maddie Williams, I thought, was an X factor going into the game, and she hit some key shots down the stretch. And you know, when you have that kind of lead, you need to finish it off. And there's things that I look back on and would have done different, and I know our kids would have too. But you know, it's a long conference season. You got to pick yourself up and get after it the next time out.
Well, and that's it, Coach. It is a marathon. It's not a sprint. That's an old cliche, but it's true. As big as the game is, and as magnificent as the crowd was, and the momentum that could continue from that, it is just one loss. You're 1-1 in the league, and still in a very good position. But obviously, Baylor on the horizon. That's kind of a tough next place to go.
Oh, it is tough. Anytime you play Baylor, period, let alone go to their place, it's a huge challenge. But we need to step up to that challenge and take today and get over it and come back Friday and get ready to go.
And an opposing coach for the Cowgirls tell me that you're one of the top coaches in this league. I know you'll have them ready. Tough place to go down in Waco, certainly, but looking forward to seeing you guys get your team ready Sunday, 1 o'clock.
Appreciate it, Case.
Absolutely. Again, Sunday, 1 o'clock at the Farrell Center in Waco. That's where the Cowgirls will be, and that's going to do it for us this week. We'll see you guys next time. For Coach Jim Littell, I'm Casey Kendrick. See you next time right here on the OSU Roundup.